Hey guys, so today's video is all about how cooking and baking can tie in with self-care. Not only is it an obvious connection with making sure that you eat every day, but it's also like a self-care ritual where you take everything from the outside world and it all disappears, and all you get at the end of the day, you absolutely know that when you add butter and flour and an egg, you're gonna get these marvelous cookies.
Hey guys, today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. We are going to be baking cookies. This is going to tie into self-care and just a relaxing day of baking together. I use Duncan Hines frosting. All of these ingredients will be listed below so that you know exactly what to use when making these cookies. It's just a run-of-the-mill sugar cookie cutout mix that you can buy from the grocery store. I just thought it'd be a little fun today to do some mixing and pouring and making some beautiful cookies together. So at this point, I have already put 1 egg, 1 stick of butter melted. That's very important. Make sure it's melted, and pour it into the bowl. And then just stir, stir, stir. Make sure that everything gets into a nice consistency so that it's not gooey or wet. Just make sure that everything turns into a nice dough. Then the next thing that you do, especially for cutout cookies, you gotta cover your working space, make sure that it's clean, cover it with flour. I even take a little bit and just put it on my hands and rub them all over my hands so that my hands don't stick to the dough.
Alright, so once you have everything mixed in the bowl, it turns into this nice big lump you got here. You're going to put down a whole mess of crap of flour on the table, or else this is going to get stuck to it. What I like to do, I like to put my hands in it a little bit, rub it around, make sure my hands are covered in flour already so that this doesn't get stuck to my hands. If for some reason you guys added water to your dough, that's fine. It's going to stick to your hands. However, just add a little bit more flour to it and it will dry up, but don't put too much flour, then your cookies are going to be too dry. So next thing you do is the messy part, so don't wear black. I like to throw it down like 5 or 6 times, make sure everything is squished together. And then you take a rolling pin, or I just like to use my hands, and take everything down to about 1/4 inch. And then we'll be able to use our cookie cutters, or in this case, I'm going to use a butter knife because we don't have a pumpkin-shaped cookie cutter. Alright guys, just put the cookies on the middle rack. Don't put it too high or too low, or else it's not going to cook enough, or it's going to cook too much. Keep it right in the middle. About 5 minutes if you're going to do the cutout cookies, and then do 9 minutes if you're going to do the drop cookies without adding the extra flour.
Alright guys, so I'm trying something a little bit different this time. It's not the drops that I used to use when I was a kid. Now it's gel food colors. So on the back it gives you kind of like a directions on how to make each color. Today I want to make orange because I'm going to make them into little pumpkin cookies. So it's going to be 6 yellow drops and 2 red drops. So let's see what happens. Alright, I took about half the jar of frosting out. Just in case I don't love the color or the consistency, at least I still have a little bit of frosting to do the cookies over again. So I have my spoon. That's about 3 large dollops, if you will. Alright, let's get cooking. Alrighty, so I added the yellow, and I'm gonna add 2 of the red. Alright, so the frosting actually turned out really good. I love the color and the consistency. So thumbs up for the gel tube, guys. That is Betty Crocker. Alright guys, so the cookies are out of the oven. They're steaming hot. So something that I learned very early making sugar cookies is that you cannot frost the cookies while they're hot. You can try, but it's going to melt off the cookie. So as much as I desperately want to take this gorgeous orange frosting and put it all over these cookies,
sadly, I cannot until they are 100% cooled off. But they look pretty dang good, guys. I'm pretty happy with how they turned out. So, cookies are totally cooled off. It's nice and gooey on the inside. Smells amazing. Here's the finished one for my beautiful viewers out there. Thanks for cooking with me, guys. Have a great night or day or whatever it is you're having. Bye. So today's video was a little bit different. We made some food together. Creating and cooking are all forms of self-care. Now, I know that life can be really stressful and overwhelming sometimes. Anxiety and depression, it makes it impossible sometimes. But at the end of the day, when you add butter and eggs and flour to a bag of cookie mix, you're always gonna come up with sugar cookies. When everything else in the world can't be counted on and everything else in the world changes, this won't change. The recipe will always be 3 tablespoons of flour, a stick of butter, an egg, and the mix. Have a good night, guys.